Okay, I'm going to make this real quick because I just want to nip this in the bud because I see that this sentiment is spreading. So I'm responding to a comment that is on this video.
Black men are the hardest group of men to date. And if you don't believe me, you can look at the divorce rates. Black men that marry black women get a divorce rate that's at 100% higher than the average. Black men that marry white women are at a 200% divorce rate increase. Black
Okay,
women
so you can take a look at that video, right? They were talking about heterosexual relationships. You know what? I'll play the next sentence for you so that you can hear it, because I also put up some graphs and stuff in there when I got to my part. So listen.
Non-black men are anywhere from 20 to 44% less in divorce rate. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because most black women are dating and marrying black men, and there are certain challenges.
All right. So hold on.
So I wanted to.
Hold on. All right. So this guy responds and he says, and lesbian divorce rates are higher than heterosexual divorce rates. So what does that say about women? So now he's conflating apples and oranges. I responded to his comment and I'm going to read that for you. Give me one second. It's backwards, but you can pause to read. I say, dear, in order to get divorced, one must be married. Gay men aren't getting married, and only 20% of black men, I meant heterosexually, are getting married. So apples and oranges. And so you see, this is the thing. They constantly want to talk about what the single mothers who stay in the fight are doing, as if them not showing up is not affecting the children that they don't stay there to raise. So now they don't want to get married, and then they want to criticize the people who do. So listen, comparing lesbian relationships to heterosexual relationships with men. Oh God, I'm so tired. Let me get my thought together. Okay, let's talk about male nature versus female nature if we're going to talk about relationships and marriage, right? So women are more romance-minded on average, right? And so lesbians, there's this saying in the lesbian community that goes, the second date is the moving truck, right? Women are speeding through the get to know you phase in these relationships. They're getting married more often. Gay men, on the other hand, are just typically not getting married. Like very few gay men actually get from the lascivious phase of non-committal intercourse to actually settling down. So we cannot compare lesbian, gay, and heterosexual relationships, right? So let's sweep those off the table. Let's talk about heterosexual relationships. So, black men are the least likely male in the United States to get married. Their rates, when I looked at it a few years ago, it was like only 22% of black men get married, right? The rest of them are trying to live this vicariously perpetual single life, right? So you don't enter into the marriage phase, right? And then you're criticizing the group of people that is most likely to get married and their divorce rates. Now listen, I read the divorce rates for the lesbian community. Lesbians, what are you doing? I am pontificating that they're just really not getting to know one another well, especially if the second date is the moving truck. Then they're getting into these long-term relationships without really finding out enough about their partners before making that lifelong commitment. However, kudos to them for making a commitment. Many of these Peter Pan men are not making the commitment to begin with. So let's rewind, right? If we're talking about heterosexual relationships, black women, white men have the lowest divorce rate. I think according to him, he said they're 200% less likely to get divorced or something along those lines. But look at that video because I showed the data in that video. So here we have, once again, a group of people who statistically are not showing up, criticizing those who do. This, to me, that's really primarily all I wanted to say. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tanya TKO. I'm a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. And on my channel, I primarily react to viral stories so that we can talk about the self-love lesson in those stories. And to me, the self-love lesson in all of this is for us to really look at ourselves. You know, like this male commenter commenting, "Sir, are you married? How is your marriage doing?" People act like marriage is the end of the statement. That's just the beginning of another milestone. What is the caliber of that marriage? And you know what? I have to give kudos to people who are in a situation that is irreparably just not going to work out, having the courage to say, you know what? I'm going to release this so that I can go forward with the rest of my life to figure out what is going to work for me. These people, God, having the courage to even get married and commit yourself in the first place deserves acknowledgement. It's like you don't get to not show up and then criticize those who do. But, you know, they say accountability is like kryptonite for some of these men. Anyway, I will see you all in the next video. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Peace. Oh, you know what? There's one last thing that I wanted to say. What if we counted just breakups in general? So if you're not making it to the marriage phase, right? What percentage of relationships with Black men are just ending? And what are the reasons for those endings? You see, it's because it's like we're spending this time criticizing those who make it to the marriage milestone. But what about all the plethora of relationships, the barrage, the procession of relationships that just never even make it to marriage to begin with? What about those? It's like, come on.